All right, y'all. So I know that I don't have any followers or anything, and I just started this. Um, but I'm keeping this as a record for myself, and I'm also predicting the future. And this way, when shit keeps going down and keeps happening, people will be able to look back on this video, and I'll gain a following just by predicting everything that's going on. So this video is about why Republicans are responsible for every death. And what I mean by this is they didn't create the virus, they didn't spread the virus, they didn't, release the virus or anything, but they allowed it to happen. And what this means is when Trump committed his crimes of election interference, and he is the third president ever impeached and put on trial, and he's the first president impeached, put on trial, and had a bipartisan vote to convict and remove him because the evidence was overwhelming. And we didn't even get to hear from witnesses or see any documents in the Senate trial because Republicans knew that the evidence was overwhelming and that if they allowed people like John Bolton or Mick Mulvaney, who on live TV in the press briefing room said, we like literally pretty much this is a quote, and this is not word for word or verbatim. This is pretty much what he said, and it's on video. This is what pisses me off, people. It's on video. All right. He said, we withheld the money for investigations, for politically motivated investigations into the Democrats in the 2016 election, and that we do this all the time, and you people need to get over it. He said that. Trump on live TV admitted that he did this, saying when asked by a reporter in the White House lawn, what were you expecting with Ukraine? And he said, well, I was hoping that they would investigate Joe Biden, and not just Ukraine. I'm hoping that China would investigate Joe Biden and Burisma and the corruption. Well, that's an admission of guilt. And then they kept saying, read the transcript. All his supporters, and I use the word retard a lot. And if you look up the literal definition of retard, I don't mean mentally handicapped people. I mean the actual definition, slow thinking people, because these people are really slow and they cannot comprehend facts. They can even see a video. If there was a video that came out tomorrow of Trump raping a 8-year-old girl, like on video, and Trump's holding up his ID, he's in the Oval Office, and he's fucking an 8-year-old girl, they will make excuses and they'll either say that's not real, even though Trump is holding up an ID saying I'm Donald Trump and it's, April 1st or whatever date it is, March 29th, and I'm fucking this girl and I'm raping her. Even if he said that, they would make excuses that, okay, that's not Trump, or they'll say, well, young children just like to be raped by presidents, and they will make excuses for this stuff. So he committed these crimes. The evidence was overwhelming. Like I said, I watch every hearing. I don't think and go by what people say. I watch the hearings, and you can ask anyone in my family at this house that we own. I watched every hearing, every single one, hour for hour, word for word. And then not only did I watch it once, I would go back and rewatch and make sure that I listened to everything correctly so I have the facts. And I read the transcript. And if you go to these Trump rallies, there's interviews of people asking them, did you read the transcript? Oh, yeah, I read the transcript and there's nothing in there. And they're like, okay. So when Trump says, I'd like you to do us a favor, though, and people were like, well, yeah, he said that. And then that was it. And it's like, well, no, because then he goes into Biden and Burisma and Hunter Biden, and he doesn't ever, talk about corruption. Not once in that transcript did he mention corruption. And just keep in mind, that wasn't the full transcript, as they say. That was a summary of the transcript. They wouldn't release the full transcript. And this was just one phone call. I guarantee you, I would put $100,000 on it that there is more transcripts that they hid from other countries. And in my mind, I honestly think he skimmed money off the top of the Saudi Arabia arms deal. And Trump's a pathological liar and a projectionist. So when he says he lost 3 to 5 billion as president, What he's really meaning is he made 3 to 5 billion as president. And the reason that this is backed up is because every single time he lies and says one thing, the truth and the actual actions itself are the exact opposite. And I also believe that when he pulled out of Syria and let the Kurds get slaughtered, who, keep in mind, fought for our country, not just for their country and their freedom, they fought for our country and helped us destroy ISIS. And ISIS is on the rise because of Trump. Like, he didn't get rid of ISIS. They were diminished, and then he allowed ISIS to escape and allowed prisoners to go. And he didn't do what he was supposed to do when professionals and generals were saying, we need to do this, Mr. Trump, Mr. President. And he was like, well, I'm going to do what Fox News told me. Because that's his intelligence officers. His intelligence officers aren't the professionals, they're Fox News. And I mean, this is on Twitter. This is on live TV, everything Fox News says, you can watch it the night before or 2 days before, and then he repeats almost verbatim Fox News talking points as his facts. As the professionals are sitting there literally putting their hands over their face going, oh my God, this fucking moron. And we need to understand that he is a danger to society. He's killing Americans. And this is why the point of my video, why Trump is to blame and Republicans in a whole for every death, and every death specifically after 15. So they had a chance to remove him for trying to cheat in the 2020 election. He did. The facts are overwhelming. If you read the transcript, you watch the videos of Mulvaney admitting, saying that we withheld the money for politically, he said this, politically motivated investigations into the Democrats in the 2016 election. He admitted to the crime. Who didn't testify? Mulvaney. Who was on the phone call? Mulvaney. Pompeo. Who didn't testify? Pompeo. Bolton is a piece of shit. He doesn't deserve any credit for writing a book and releasing the fucking facts out there, because he's a piece of shit, because he could have testified in the House when the House called him to testify, and he decided not to, and his lawyers fought it until it got to the Senate. And then he was like, well, if they call me, I'll testify, knowing damn well Republicans weren't going to call him to testify. He knew that, but he tried to play both sides. Like, I'm not going to testify, and unless, you fucking take me to court. And then when it got to the Senate, he's like, if I get subpoenaed, I'll testify. Well, you were subpoenaed in the House, and people kept saying that he wasn't. They did. That's a fact. All this is on record. And so they had a chance to remove him from office for his crimes, and instead only one Republican became a hero, a real American, and it was what the fuck? Was it Mitt Romney? Mitt Romney of fucking Utah was the only one who came up, gave a speech, and said, partisanship aside, I went over the facts, I've watched the evidence, I've watched the testimonies, and he committed these crimes. Well, he voted to convict and remove, along with every Democrat in the Senate. Every other Republican voted to not convict and remove him and said he was innocent. But as soon as they signed that their name and did that vote, that very same day they got on the news and they were all over doing interviews saying, well, yeah, Trump did commit the crimes, and we think he learned his lesson, and that it can't get any worse than this, and it would be more damaging to the public, to the American people and the country, by removing him from office than just letting him finish up his presidency and seeing how the voters remove him from office. If the voters don't remove him from office, he's innocent. If they do, then that proves he's guilty. That was what they did. And that's bullshit, because everything was lined out, and they literally admitted, like yeah, he committed crimes, but to remove him from office. And even Lindsey Graham and others were saying, in his head, he thinks what he was doing was for the people, literally pointing to their head, that he thinks what he was doing was for the people. Therefore, it's no longer a crime, because in his mind, him cheating in the election, or trying to, was in the American people's best interest. Well, here we are now, months later, and we have a pandemic going on, and we have over 2,000 people dead. And I have my phone right here. I'm on the CDC website. And so just remember, think about it, 3 weeks ago. So Trump and them were briefed on this in January. All right. And Trump got rid of the pandemic response, the White House pandemic response team. He fired all the professionals. He cut the CDC budget. He pulled us out of 39 out of 49 countries where the CDC and professionals were that studied pandemics that were coming out. And one of them was China. And he fired those people. He pulled them out. He even bragged about it. And then even on live TV, again, this is all film. This is what makes me so mad about you Trump supporters. It's all on video record. It's all on audio record. It's on record. And you guys still can watch a video and be like, oh no, I don't give a fuck. You either don't care, you don't believe it, or you're too brainwashed, or you're too racist to care about anybody else but yourselves. And he's on video saying this bullshit. And then Republicans allowed him to stay in office. And for months, they called it a hoax. They called it fake news, that nobody was dying. It was just a big cold. It was, nothing more, no worse than the flu. Only 40,000 people a year die from the flu, or 37,000 die from the flu, which last year it was like 30,500. Well, right now, because of the Trump administration's inaction, which, by the way, they were briefed in January. And on Fox News just 5 days ago, Trump admitted he's known about the pandemic since November. So I don't know why he thought that made him look better. Like, oh, I've known about this since November. That makes you look worse. And I don't understand why you think that telling people that you've known about it months earlier than when you were briefed on it and from now makes you look better and smarter. It makes you look dumb as fuck, and it makes you look like a horrible person. And then he's even saying that governors need to, it's on audio with the Sean Hannity interview, that governors need to praise him and thank him and fucking tell him how great of a job he's done until they get stuff. And Florida and all these other countries have asked Trump for stuff. And I'm going to call this out. He gave 100% of everything Florida asked immediately. Like, oh, Florida wants this, 100%. Same thing he did in the hurricanes. 100% Florida gets everything they want. But fuck Illinois, fuck Colorado, fuck New York, fuck California, fuck Washington, fuck Oregon. And he gave our state of Colorado like 2% of what we asked for. And within one day, everything that we got was gone. One day to battle this virus. This is the danger of this president. And I guarantee you, I'm calling it out right now. As soon as these red states that are doing no shelter in place, that are still telling people they need to go to work, still telling people that they need to keep gathering, and if Trump holds a rally, to go to his rallies, and there's nothing wrong with big crowds, I guarantee you, I bet you $1,000,000 that he will do everything he can within a day or two and give them 100% of everything they ask for. If Alabama calls him and was like, sir, we need 50,000 ventilators, like New York asked for 30,000. So let's just say Alabama asked for that same 30,000. He complained about New York asking for 30,000, and on Sean Hannity, it's on audio, saying, "Well, I don't understand. Hospitals have one or two ventilators, and there's so much in the state, and all of a sudden they need 30,000 ventilators. I just don't believe it, and it just doesn't make sense to me." Well, you fucking retard. There's a pandemic going on where people can't breathe. They cannot breathe because this virus causes pneumonia in your lungs, and they cannot breathe, and they cannot suck out the phlegm and the mucus that are building up in your lungs enough, and you die. And that's why they need 30,000 ventilators, because they're preparing for 30,000 people to need ventilators. And I guarantee you, Alabama and Georgia and Texas and all these red states, they're going to get 100% what they ask for. So when they start asking for 10,000 ventilators, 100,000, 20,000, whatever the number is, I guarantee you Trump does everything within a week and probably days to give them ventilators. And then he's going to brag about it and say, Alabama asked me for 20,000 ventilators and I gave them 20,000 ventilators in 2 days. We're doing such a great job. As the hardest hit states like California and Washington and New York are getting nothing. They're getting nothing. And the military is currently there building these hospital stations. All right. So they could have removed him from office because he's not mentally fit. He has Alzheimer's, and that's another thing. I bet $1,000,000 if they test him for the Alzheimer's genes, he has Alzheimer's. I took care of my grandma with Alzheimer's for almost 2 years. He shows every single sign. Every single sign, and his father had Alzheimer's. These are facts, people. And if you know someone with Alzheimer's and you pay attention to Trump and pay attention to that person with Alzheimer's, it is almost exactly the same thing. And he's in the stage now where he's going to start getting into rapid progression. And if he is elected to a second term, we're going to watch his mental state deteriorate harder and faster than it is now. And we've already seen him go from 2016 where he can give a speech and not, he lies and he's talking and he's just rambling on. But now as the years have gone by that he's been president, he gives speeches and he'll be like, and the Democrats, blah, 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 whoa, whoa, whoa. And he like comes back to reality. That's Alzheimer's. And it's on video, people. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with you. It's on video. It is all on record. It's in his tweets, everything. He is literally giving speeches saying one thing like, and we're gonna give California and whoa, what California Democrats, and people are like standing there behind him on camera, just like, what? Did you notice that? Oh, let's just ignore it. It's Trump. We love Trump. Let's suck his dick. Like, that's Alzheimer's. My grandma does the same shit. And these are the early, he's probably in stage 2 or 3, and he's about to hit the rapid progression stage. And he already does the wandering, where, there's videos of him on the White House lawn and he just starts wandering off and he's like walking around and like doesn't know what's going on. You can see him on stage when professionals are talking to him or talking, and he's just like, like half asleep, nodding out. So that could be him on some sort of opiates or maybe Xanax, but to me that's Alzheimer's, and just by his mental state, that's what that is. And either way, back to the point of this video, because I can ramble on all day about how big of a piece of shit this guy is. He said it was a hoax. Republicans said it was a hoax. Fox News said it was a hoax, and they ran with it until the stock market crashed. And now we have over, and I'm going to read it off. This is on the CDC website on cdc.gov. All right. This is the CDC website. 122,653 confirmed cases and 2,112 deaths, which is crazy. I got to take a screenshot of that because my mom's a nurse and her favorite band's Rush, and her favorite album is 2112. And that's just crazy that we have now 2112 confirmed deaths by the CDC. All right, and these are just the cases that have been tested. And I'm pretty sure that we all here in our house were infected with this, and they wouldn't test us because we didn't have severe symptoms. So we're waiting for that antibody test. That there's 2 companies. One I believe is in the UK, and one here in the United States, creating a antibody test that you can take if you got sick and couldn't get a test, and it'll tell you, and you just do it at your house, and it'll tell you if you have the antibodies, which means that your body did combat that virus or that disease, and you gain the antibodies to fight it off, which to us would be such a stress relief, knowing like, okay, we did have it and we got over it and that was it for us. Not saying everybody's going to have the same symptoms as mild as we did. We didn't even get fevers, but if we didn't have it and we all just had a cold or a flu or something, now our immune systems are weakened, and if we get this virus, we're at a higher risk. And so besides that, Trump and Republicans said they had it under control. All right. They said that it was going to go from 15 to 0 cases. And okay, that's my shit's fully charged for my trading laptop. And they said we're going to go from, 15 to 0 cases by April. Well, it's March 29th, or actually March 30th right now. And so I can't remember if there's 31 days. So yeah, so 31 days in March. So Wednesday is April 1st. We have over 100,000 cases now. That it's not going to 0. Those were lies. And not only was it 15 going to 0, we have over 2,100 deaths. We have 2,112 deaths, 2,112 deaths in this country. That is way over 15. And I don't know if you guys just saw that, whatever that was, that went like there was something in the background. Pretty sure this house is haunted. But so there is 2,112 deaths. He said it was going to go from 15 to 0. Everything was fine. Nobody's going to die. There are countries that had less than 10 deaths that got on this shit from the start immediately last fucking November was like, we gotta handle this shit. And their economies didn't crash. They didn't have a stock market crash. They didn't have a recession start. They don't have right now we're estimated or right now supposedly the reported unemployment is 3.7%, and the estimated unemployment for the next month is going to be 9.8%, and the next or 17.8%, and unemployment for the next 3 months is going to be over 30%. This in the Great Depression, unemployment was at, I believe the numbers were 9%, like 9.5 or 9.6%. We're going to be over that in this next month after everything is done. My girl's applying for unemployment. Somebody stole her identity and says she already filed in a different state. So we have to deal with that tomorrow, and we have to get that under control and have her file. And she's not going into work because she works for a maid service, and they're not giving any hazard pay. They're not doing any protective gear, and she literally has to go into people's houses and clean them, and they use 100% green products. They don't use like bleach to scrub shit. They don't have, chemicals that are killing this bacteria. And it doesn't matter. Either way, Colorado is on lockdown. We are in shelter in place order, and only essential businesses can stay open, like the police department, firefighters, hospitals, some courthouses. A lot of courthouses are shut down. Grocery stores, dispensaries are open, and liquor stores. That's it. And they want her to go clean houses and to walk into someone's house that might have COVID-19, or we might have had it and we don't know, and we don't have doctors or tests to tell us whether we had it or not. So she can be bringing it into their houses, or she can be going into their houses and bringing it out, and then going from house to house to house, cleaning, spreading this virus around. That is bad. That's not good. And so she and a bunch of her workers are going on strike, just like Instacart is tomorrow, where they want hazard pay. They're not getting any hazard pay. My girlfriend, her job, they're not getting anything. They are getting nothing. And then not only that, the owner has filed them as 1099 employees. When I'm holding her W-2 and was filing her taxes last night, and it wouldn't go through because it says you're not a W-2 employee. You're a business owner. You own a business. It literally said that she owns a small business, and it's like, no, we don't own any business. She's working for this company, Malco or whatever LLC, and it's saying that her W-2 is actually a 1099, and her taxes went from $1,100 down to $750, and then today, like, we still couldn't file, and now it's $200. And then not only that, they want $120 just to file it, so she's gonna get $100 back in a tax return, $100. And either way, back to the point, because I can ramble on for hours, and I'm already at 23 minutes. Um, Republicans did not remove this president when they could have and when they should have. And now we have a leader in charge of everything who is a conspiracy theorist and a liar doing nothing. Literally doing nothing. And every single day that they keep saying they're doing all this shit, and every day it's the same thing. We're doing this and we're doing this. But the state governors, like here in Colorado and Illinois, in my home state, in California, where I was born, in my cousin's state in Portland, they're screaming for help. Hospitals are screaming for help, and they're not getting anything. They're not. They're not getting anything. They're not getting masks. They're not getting protective clothing. They're not getting ventilators. It's all bullshit. And at the same time, FEMA and so all the states are battling for pricing, and they're all outbidding each other. And then Trump has the federal government buying everything on top of that, and then they're trying to make money off of this. So Trump's outbidding the states who need stuff and saying, well, we hold it and we can do whatever we want with it. And I'm not going to send you ventilators until you praise me and say that I'm doing a good job. He is responsible, along with Republicans and Fox News and right wing conspiracy theorists and other right wing news sites like QAnon and was it fucking AON, American One News Network. Every death in this country is on the hands of Trump, his administration, Republicans, Fox News, and all these right-wing conspiracy theorists. And honestly, at this point, kill them all. Like, I hope that all these people get the virus. I'm done. Like they're not good people. These are not good people. They do not care about you. They don't care about your neighbor. If I'm sick and I'm like, oh my God, I got COVID-19, I need help, they're gonna laugh and say, let that fucking liberal die. So you know what? I'm gonna say it right back to him. Let that piece of shit die. Let that conspiracy theorist Trump supporter die. Do it. And then they wouldn't tell old people to go out and sacrifice themselves. Like you need to like kill yourself for the economy, go to work and like no. You guys just dumped in trillions of dollars in the economy and it did nothing. And now we're on the verge of hyperinflation. And I'm warning you now, the US dollar is most likely going to collapse. That we are at the point now, if you trade Forex, you can watch the dollar go down. And we're to the point now where we keep printing money and we're dumping into the stock market and giving it to corporations that no longer pay taxes permanently. And we're in the hyperinflation stage pretty much, and it's barely holding on. We were already overextended on debt and deficit, and we were already to the point where a catalyst like on this magnitude can cause hyperinflation, and we will no longer be the superpower in the world. We will become pretty much a third world country for a couple years in the Great Depression, and this would be the time where other countries try to invade us. And yeah, we'll still have the military, but we're not going to be able to buy weapons or anything. We're going to have to make them. And we don't make all of our weapons. We do make a big majority of them, but we also buy a lot of the stuff to make these weapons outside of the country. So this is very dangerous and this is very scary. And every single death is on Trump and Republicans' hands, no matter how you try to twist it. Oh, it's Obama's fault and it's this. Well, Obama left a handbook and a pandemic response team and all these professionals for this type of situation. All Trump had to do was just let them stay on the payroll. And right now, we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't have seen a stock market crash. We wouldn't see the economy in the position it is. We wouldn't see unemployment going up from 3.6% to 9% to 17%, and then estimated CBO, which are usually right off and on. They're mostly right, and it's not like they're off by fucking thousands of numbers. They're usually very accurate, and they're estimating that we're going to see a 22% unemployment or 20% unemployment here in the next couple weeks. This is all Republicans and Trump's fault because Republicans could have removed him from office. They could have did their job, charged him with the crimes, removed him, and got rid of him. Let Pence in charge, which wouldn't have been much better, and it'd be better than Trump because he wouldn't have lied as much. But he lies with that fake, phony Christian bullshit face. Oh, I'm a Christian and I'm fucking. I love the children and the babies, but yet they don't mind locking children up in cages where over 50 migrant children have died. And on video again, on video record, the Trump administration argued why children in these DHS custody centers don't need soap and toothpaste and enough food to last. Like, for real, they literally argued that, and federal judges are like, "You're telling me that children don't need to fucking clean their ass with soap and water, and they don't need to brush their teeth?" And they were like, "Well, no, because they're immigrants, and who cares?" Like, that's not pro-life. And then telling you that your grandma and grandpa and anyone that's ill immune need to go out and die for the economy for corporate profits, that's not pro-life. So don't fall for this shit, people. And I'm sorry right now. I'll call the Democrats out when they start fucking up, and I do it all the time, especially with gun control, especially with gun control. But right now, the Democrats aren't in charge. They have the House. That's it. They've passed over 450, 460 bills since taking the House in 2019 in January. And what did Republicans do for 2 years? Nothing. No infrastructure, no healthcare plan. They didn't fucking fund the wall for Trump. Republicans didn't even fund the wall. Democrats did fund the wall. They offered them $25 billion for the wall in exchange for DACA protections for 850,000 people. This is fact. You don't believe me and you want to talk shit, you can look it up. I put $10,000 on that fact. And then Trump turned it down, shut down the government for 35 days and settled for 1.13 billion, and then called a national emergency and tried to take money from the military and other places to fund the wall after Democrats offered it because he didn't want to give only 850,000 people DACA protection because he said it's illegal and it needs to go through the Supreme Court. Is it illegal? It might be. Should it go through the Supreme Court? Probably, but it's 850,000 people, and these aren't criminals because if you commit a crime, you get deported. Most of these people are college students, or they're going to school, or they're taking care of their parents, and they're not bad people. These are people that love this country that have most likely lived here since they were a child. And here we are with this piece of shit president running us down the fucking gutter, destroying the dollar, like destroying the country, destroying the dollar, destroy the stock market, all because of his lies. And now people are dying. And they estimate on a medium scale in the middle, 100 to 200,000 people are going to die. And it's no longer the best scenario, which would have been, less than 100, and it's not the worst scenario where we're looking at 10 million people dying, but we're at the point now where they guarantee that over 100,000 Americans are going to die from this. And I bet you that it's going to be over a million, not just because of the COVID-19 virus, but because once hospitals are filled up to capacity and your mom has a heart attack, or your grandfather has a heart attack, or you break a leg, or you get shot, or you get stabbed, or you get in a car wreck, you fall out of a tree while you're working as a tree trimmer or anything like that, you're fucked. And they're going to tell you to go home and die. And it's not to be rude. They're just going to say, we can't, we're at capacity. We have no beds. We don't have any staff that can help you and pay attention to you because we have people dying from the lack of oxygen in here. And we're trying to help these sick people. People are going to die, and it's going to be in the millions. And I fear we're going to see 2, 3, maybe even 4 million Americans die because we don't even know the real number of virus infected people or how many people have been infected in this country. We don't know what the real number is. We don't, because there's not enough testing. Other countries were testing everyone, anyone. You felt sick, they tested you, and then not only did they test you, they tracked down everywhere you went. It was like, where have you been the past 7 days? I've been here, here, and here. These were the times I was there. They go there, they look at the cameras, and they go, okay, we need to track this person down, and they went around and tracked people down. I tried, and I have audio recording on my phone where I called the CDC, the Denver Health Services. I called the Denver hospitals. There's three of them in our area right here that are within a 10-15 minute drive. I even called 911, and they said that they can't do anything and that they can't track people down. They can't go arrest them, which I don't want them to arrest them. Just track them down and test them. That's it. Quarantine them. And they did nothing. They did nothing. And this is just Colorado. And that means that this has been spreading and spreading and spreading. And a lot of people are most likely just going to get, a little sick, and they're going to think they have a cold and it's no big deal. And as they're walking around and going to the store, they're spreading it around. They're wiping their face and they're touching stuff. And then you got to clock out, or fucking at work, you got to clock out hitting the same buttons, or you go to the Walmart and you got to press the same buttons on the self checkout, or you got to hand your debit card to the same person who's taking debit cards and pressing buttons of other people, and they're wearing gloves. And then at the end of the shift, they take their glove off, but they're touching your card that has touched hundreds of other people's cards that their hands have. And this is not good, people. And every single death after 15, at least every death after 15, is on Trump, his administration, and Republicans' hands. And that's a fact. And I don't care what you say. I don't care how you try to spin it and blame Obama, blame Hillary Clinton. They've been out of office for years. You can't keep blaming people in the past. I could blame George Bush then. This is all George W. Bush's fault. I mean, for real, like, we can't. That's stupid. You sound stupid trying to blame people that haven't been in power for 3 4 years, because the person leading now, still to this day, is doing nothing. These are facts, people. So you guys need to grow the fuck up. You need to look at the numbers. You need to look at the trajectory, and you need to understand that there are going to be at least 100 to 200,000 people dead, and I'm expecting at least 1 million. My mom's a nurse, and she said her hospital has talked to hundreds of hospitals around this country, all trying to buy masks off each other, but they can't find any. And the masks that they are finding are way overpriced, and they can't order enough because they're sold out and being outbidded by the Trump administration, by FEMA, by the federal government. They're outbidding these masks, and they're hoarding them, waiting for people to praise them and suck their dick to get the mask. People are dying, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop anytime soon. At the rate we're going, we're going to see a U.S. dollar collapse. We're going to see this country and fall into a Great Depression, worse than the Great Depression, a depression worse than the Great Depression, and we're going to be struggling for a while. And if Trump gets reelected in November, I've already said we're going to lock up our house. We're going to put our security cameras up, link it up to the police station, and we're getting the fuck out the country for 4 years. That's how I feel about this. And if you're not scared or you're not worried, you might be okay. You might not die, but it's not about you. It's about the country as a whole. It's about society as a whole. And this is it. And it's not going to be socialism that destroyed the country. Just in the past 3 weeks, we've bailed out and paid more money than what it would cost to cover healthcare for every single person for 1 year. So to say that we can't do it and can't afford Medicare for all, it's proven to be a blatant lie now because we gave trillions in tax cuts to the rich, who then locked in trillions in profit in the stock market crash. They didn't lose money. They still made money. The stock market over the past couple years, past 10 years, is up over 80%. They made those profits. They locked them in. They just were crying because instead of getting 90% profits, they only made 80%. Ooh, boo hoo, shut the fuck up. So they fucking got bailed out. So they got trillions in permanent tax cuts. They don't pay taxes anymore. They got trillions in profit that they locked in, and they just got trillions in bailout money. But yet we can't afford 55 to 65 billion dollars a year for everyone to go to college and give people health care because it's socialism. It's going to collapse a country like Venezuela. Well, what happened in Venezuela is happening now, where they printed out so much money based on nothing that hyperinflation happened and their currency went to zero. It's worth nothing. It's fucking toilet paper now. And we're heading that same way where you can have 10 million bucks in your safe and in the next 6 months it could be worth nothing. So I highly recommend putting your money into gold, silver, possibly Bitcoin. I love cryptocurrency, but a lot of people in the stock market that trade got into crypto and they trade it just like the stock market and they're fucking it up. And this is Bitcoin's ultimate test, and this is why Bitcoin was created. So we'll see how that goes. But gold and silver, you need to be buying gold, silver, platinum. Don't even buy bonds right now. You can't. There's no point. If you buy a bond right now, let's just say you buy $100 bond, you're going to pay 150 bucks for that $100 bond, and even with the interest on it, when you cash it out, you're going to have negative money. You're going to lose money. The only reason to have a bond is if you put 10 million bucks in it and just to hold your money there. That's it. Hoping that the dollar doesn't completely go away. That's it. Like you people aren't getting it. You're not understanding. You're not comprehending the situation of this. You're thinking just about yourself and, oh, I got to sit at home. And you got to understand the economy's crashing. The stock market's crashing. The US dollar is collapsing. This could be the catalyst. Me and my dad talked about this before he passed away for years. This could be the catalyst because it's not just nationwide, it's globally to destroy the United States of America. And it's not Democrats that did it, and it's not fucking Venezuela, and it's not socialism. It's fucking the Republican Party. The Republican Party did this, and they allowed it to happen. They should have, on day one when Trump took office, started nipping him in the butt. And every lie he told, they should have been calling him out. And they should have been calling out. And they could have kept some of their base. Instead, they ran with it. And they praised Trump. And they got on their knees. And they shoved his dick and balls in their mouth. And they gargled his fucking cum. And then this is where we are now, where they could have removed him from office over a month ago, 2 months ago. And instead, they let him in saying, well, what else could he do? How much worse can it get? Let's let November and the voters decide. Well, now we have thousands of Americans dying, expected to be hundreds of thousands of Americans dying, and I expect it to be millions of Americans dying. That is the danger of this Trump presidency in the Republican Party of 2020. These people need to go. I'm sorry. I hope that most of these older white Republicans get sick. I hope that they die off. They deserve to die. They're horrible people. They don't give a fuck about us. Lindsey Graham, McCarthy, McConnell, and Trump didn't even want to give the American people a single penny. And they told us, and to this day are still saying, we shouldn't have done that. People should just get title loans and get high interest, payday loans, and they should just get mortgages on their house, or they should just go take out a loan with their credit. And and just deal with it. Okay, well, how are you going to take out a loan and make a monthly payment if you don't have a fucking job because of fucking virus? You dumb motherfuckers. They have no clue, and they don't realize that it's us, we the people, who stimulate this economy. It's not the rich. When the rich, if I'm a billionaire and I buy a Ferrari, and I've said this before, the people don't get that money. That money goes to the Ferrari owner and the Ferrari builders and the people who work for Ferrari. Or if I buy a yacht, that money goes to the people that built the yacht and to the yacht owner and the business that sells yachts who are catering to millionaire and billionaire clients. It doesn't go to the people. If I spend $50,000 into my community, it goes to the restaurants, the local restaurants. It goes to the local, bars. It goes to the local gaming stations. It goes to the city and the state, and I pay taxes on it. These people don't pay taxes. Like, and a lot of you praise that, and you think that someday you're going to be that super rich, and it might come true. You might get that super rich and never have to pay taxes again. But these people don't pay taxes. They don't stimulate the economy. They don't stimulate the economy. The people do. And if we gave every person in this country $20,000 that make under 100 grand a year, even let's just say 50 grand a year, you make under 50 grand a year, and I hand you $20,000 cash. What are you going to do with it? It's going to be gone in a week. You're going to go buy a new car. You're going to pay off your debt. You're going to go buy shit. That's a fact. And the rich hoard it. And that's a fact. And either way, back to the main point, every death after 15 is on the Republicans' hands, on Donald Trump's hands specifically. And this is why the Republican Party needs to go. And they know they're dying off. And this is why I created the Democrat conservatives, because if you still love the principles of the Republican Party, of family values, are you religious and you actually believe in Jesus Christ and his following, like actually believe it, not say that you do and then do the exact opposite and praise a billionaire and a false idol and a false prophet that says you're going to go to hell when Jesus does come back, this is why I'm here. And I'm about fiscal responsibility. And I'm also for Medicare for all and college for all. And I'm also against endless wars, but I'm for a strong military. We need a strong military, but we don't need to be fighting wars in every single country all the time. That makes no sense. We need to bring our troops home and have them here, protect our borders. And if we get invaded, we're fucking putting the hammer down. We're going to knock you the fuck out. We're going to kill all you motherfuckers. That's what we need to do. And that's just common fucking sense. We also need to decriminalize all drugs. The drug war isn't working. We need to find something else to do because the cartels are getting money from Americans. All their funding is from Americans. And if you look at Mexico, they made all guns illegal, and look what happened. And this is what pisses me off about these liberals. They want to take our guns away. You're literally pretty much, you might as well put a sign on your door saying, please come in and rob me because I ain't got no guns, and I'll call the police and have to wait a half hour. It's stupid. But either way, like I said, point of this story, Republicans are the cause of these deaths. Plain and simple, no matter how you try to twist it, it all boils back down to them lying about it and them allowing Trump to do whatever he wants and saying, let's not remove him. He committed the crimes. We're admitting he committed crimes. And we think he learned his lesson and he's going to be a good president from now on. Well, here we are as thousands of Americans die. And within the next couple months, it's going to be a couple 100,000. And by the end of the year, we're going to see over 1 million Americans dead from this virus, all because the Trump administration and Republicans wanted to protect the stock market. So wake the fuck up, people. Join my team. Let's fucking stop this partisan bullshit. Let's combine the best of both parties together. Let's get rid of the conspiracy theory, fucking crazy whack jobs. And let's get rid of let's give illegal fucking people free shit because illegals don't deserve a single dollar of my tax money. I pay taxes. They don't deserve a single fucking penny. That's straight up. Do I hate illegals? No. Do I want to fucking kill people? No. They deserve to live their life as free as possible, but they're illegal and they don't deserve my tax money. They don't deserve food stamps, which they can't, by the way. Just to make clear, I know I'm smart enough to know this. They can't sign up for any government benefits unless they steal somebody's social, but they don't deserve anything. They don't deserve health care. They don't deserve any sort of tax money bailouts. They don't even deserve to fucking to be here. Come in the right way, and this is why we need to fix immigration. We need to make it faster, and we need to have better checks, and we need to make sure that people can come in, not have to wait 15 years to get a green card or a work visa or a citizenship, so they can come in and bring something to the country. If you're a doctor and you want to come here, we need to fast track that. You're a rocket scientist, you want to come here, we need to fast track that. But we don't do that shit. We treat them all the same, and then people wait years, and then people end up sneaking in the country. They go unchecked and unnoticed. Some of them commit murder, some commit crimes, and the majority of them are actually really good people. I lived in South Texas with a lot of illegals in my neighborhood, and they were really good people. They would help you out if they saw you broken down the side of the road. They would couldn't speak English, but they would come and change your tire. They would help you out, and I'm proud of that. But they don't deserve a single dollar of tax money. And we don't need to get rid of our guns because the Second Amendment was not made for hunting. It was made to kill the piece of shit president in office now. They planned on something like this happening. That's why there's a Second Amendment for us to uprise and take control of our own government when it gets tyrannical and Americans killed like it is now. Not saying that I'm going to go kill Trump or anything. I'm just saying that's what the Second Amendment was for. And the founding fathers, if they were alive right now, they would be beating the shit out of us. They would line us all up, every fucking 300 million of us, and they would execute Trump. They would execute all the Republicans. They would execute a lot of Democrats. They would execute everyone on Fox News and right wing media, and they would fucking whip the shit out of all of us and saying, why didn't you rise up and use your Second Amendment rights to take back your country? Because this guy's killing Americans, and you guys are just sitting there saying, oh, well, there's nothing we can do. That's what they put that in there. And that's what I stand for. I don't stand for killing the president. I'm just saying that's what they put it in there for, the founding fathers. And I wish we had a time machine and can go back and bring them here right now. They would be shocked, let alone at the technology and the fact that they got in a time machine, but they would be pissed watching the president do what he's doing, and they would fucking execute and be like, we got to kill him right now. And the sad thing is Trump supporters would look at George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Adams and all these people, and they would say, those are fucking traitors. You know, we need to fucking kill George Washington. I guarantee it. I guarantee if George Washington came back from the past right now and was like, we need to execute Trump, they would take Trump's side and say that we need to execute George Washington. That is how brainwashed and stupid these fucking morons are. But that's my rant for the night. I'm at 47 minutes. It's a long time, but you know what? These are all facts. I don't give a fuck what you think. This is just this is my channel. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm just rambling on. I like to talk. Here, nobody likes to fucking get into politics. Everybody likes to ignore it. And I got to put out the information. And this way, in the future, people can look back and go, "Man, this fucking dude was right. Man, MP, fucking, he was beast mode. He predicted everything. He fucking, called it out as he saw it. He's calling out Democrats. He's calling out Republicans. He's fucking calling out the facts, and he's not falling for these conspiracy QAnon crazy bullshit." So that's it, y'all. I love you. Love America. You guys have a good night. Be safe. Sanitize your hands. Sanitize your house. You bring food home. Sanitize every package. Take stuff out the box. That's what we do. We bring everything in. We sanitize it. And we fucking put it on the table. We sanitize it. We put it on the counter over there. We wipe the counter down. We're doing what we can. We don't know if we had it. And if we know that we had it, we wouldn't have to take as much precautions. But we still have a 65, 7-year-old veteran that lives in our garage apartment, and he has lung cancer with 30 to 40% lung function. If he gets this, he's going to die. And it's on Trump's fault. And the sad part is he's a Trump supporter, and he even knows. He's not brainwashed. He's not like these other retards who you have to praise Trump no matter what. Even if Trump rapes a child, these people are like, you got to praise Trump. He raped a child, but we got to defend it. He's like, fucking Trump's fucking up. He's like, I voted for this fucking piece of shit. And he's like, he's the worst president I've ever fucking seen. I still support him, which is crazy. But he said, I'm not going to vote for him again. I'm not going to fucking do that because he's not stupid. And this is the point where we're at in this country, and we're gonna see the collapse, and then it's gonna get bad. And liberals out there, that hate guns, you need to buy yourself some guns. You need to get yourself at least an AR-15 with a 16-inch barrel at minimum, 14 inches if you can find it, and get one legally. 20 inches if you want some more distance. You need to stock up on at least 2,000 rounds of ammo. I would say buy at least 20 to 30 magazines, 30 rounders. Don't buy drums. I own a drum magazine. They're not the best. And you need to protect yourself. this is going to get bad, and we're probably going to see some anarchy here, and possibly another civil war. So I love my Patriots. God bless America. Let's get rid of the two-party system and let's fucking do what's best for the people. That's why I'm a Democratic conservative and I love the USA. That is who I am, and that's what this is. So, peace.